In this video, we're going to look at multi-step equations that have variables on both sides. All right, let's just do a quick review of what we know about multi-step equations so far. So in the first one, I'm going to start by doing some change on the side of the equation with the variables. So I've got 8x plus negative 6x plus negative 25 equal negative 35. And then on the side of the equation with the variables, I have two terms that have identical variable parts, and I'm going to add them together. So that's going to be 8x plus negative 6x is 2x, and then I bring down the rest of the terms that I have not used. And now I have a two-step equation, so I'll add 25 to both sides. These will cancel and leave me with 2x on this side, negative 10 on the other side, divide both sides by 2. Those 2's cancel and leave me with x is equal to negative 5. Now in the second example, I have parentheses, and this means I need to distribute that 6 to the 5 and the 6 to the negative 8, and it'll become a negative 8 because the first thing I'm going to do is change that. Then I'm going to distribute the 6 to the 5 and the 6 to the negative 8v. So I'll end up with 6 times 5 plus 6 times negative 8v plus 12 equal negative 54. And now we're just going to clean it up. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 6 times negative 8 is negative 48v, plus 12 equal negative 54. And now I can add my constants together because those are the like terms on the left side of the equation. So 30 plus 12 is 42 plus negative 48v equal negative 54. And I'm going to subtract 42 from both sides. So these will cancel and leave me with a negative 48v on the left. And 54 plus 42 would be negative 96. Now I'm going to divide both sides by negative 48. These will cancel and leave me with v is equal to a positive 2. All right, now let's look at what to do when we have equations that have variables on both sides. So we're going to collect the variable terms on one side and the constant terms on the other. Well, what does that mean? I have an example here. If we see we have 15 minus 2x on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side I have a negative 7x. I have an x on both sides of the equation, which means I need to move this negative 2x onto that side of the equation. So the way I do it, I say, well, the opposite of negative 2x is a positive 2x. So if I add a positive 2x to this side of the equation, my negative 2 and positive 2 will cancel out and leave me with just 15 on this side of the equation. But because it's an equation and have to stay balanced, whatever I do to the left, I have to do to the right. So now I add a negative 7 plus a positive 2, and that's a negative 5. And now at this point, it's just a one-step equation. I have multiplication on this side of the equation with the variable. I undo multiplication with division, so I do bar, and I divide both sides by negative 5, just so they stay balanced. These negative 5's will cancel out and leave me with x. And then 15 divided by negative 5 would be a negative 3. So my solution is x is equal to negative 3. Now that's another layer of solving multi-steps on top of what we already have to do. So if we have parentheses, we'll have to distribute first. If we have terms that are like on each side of the equation, we're going to collect those first together. And then we'll use inverse operations to isolate the variables. So now we're going to take what we've been doing for multi-step equations and we're adding this extra layer on top of it. Okay, let's look at some examples. In the first one, I have negative 3x is equal to 2x plus 19. I have two terms with the variable x, but they're on different sides of the equation. So it makes sense for me to try to combine the 2x with the negative 3x by moving it over onto the other side. So the way I'm going to get it onto the other side is I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides of the equation. So positive 2x plus negative 2x, these will cancel out. And then a negative 3x plus a negative 2x would leave me with a negative 5x equal to 19. Because nothing happened to this 19 yet, it was just still on that side of the equation. Now I have a one-step equation left. I'm going to divide both sides of my equation by negative 5. The negative 5's on the left will cancel and leave me with x, and x is equal to 19 over negative 5, or negative 19/5. Now in the next example, I have parentheses. So I'm going to need to distribute before I can do any combining. So we're going to distribute the 6 to the 4 and the 6 to negative x. And let's do some change here, and let's add a 1 there so it's a little easier. And let's actually rewrite this so we spread it out a little bit. All right, now let's go ahead and distribute 6 to 4 and 6 to negative 1x. And I get 6 times 4 plus 6 times negative 1x is equal to 2x. And if I clean it up, 6 times 4 is 24, plus 6 times negative 1x is negative 6x is equal to 2x. Now I need to combine these terms together by moving the negative 6x over to the right. And I'm going to do that by adding a 6x to both sides. Now, negative 6x plus positive 6x will cancel and leave me 24 on the left side. And 2x plus 6x would be 8x. Divide both sides by 8, so we get x is equal to 24 divided by 8 is 3.